It's a great touch from Clinton.
Are you saying you saw a few of those from Clinton in his time, yeah?
Well, not necessarily him, but I've seen it off a few where they've took the credit for it, and that was definitely
the Lee Hendrie.
That was his own touch.
It certainly was a Lee Hendrie finish, yeah.
Finished by
Absolutely.
Finish,
Let's talk about events at Anfield last night. Liverpool won, Arsenal won, so it's still very, very tight at the top of the Premier League table. And did we see, Clinton, how little there is to choose between these teams? We can see it in the league table, but we saw it over 90 minutes as well.
Definitely, this title race is going to go right to the end. Two outstanding teams. I did probably think Liverpool did shade it, but I thought Arsenal, the way they started the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought they were outstanding, and I thought they were going to blow Liverpool away, but credit to Liverpool, they kept on going.
I thought for a 1-1 game, that was a great watch. I think the intensity that was played at from both sides, they both got at each other. Arsenal were frantic at the start, and then Liverpool, I thought they showed class and you know, credit to them getting back on level terms. But I just think it was a great advert again for the Premier League of what we're seeing in that top title race. You know, to think that Liverpool, I think lots of people would have said Liverpool had gone and got a result, but credit to Arsenal, they've looked so solid defensively. You know, two best defences, and then you look at the stats at the end of possession, shots, and it was literally identical. And that just showed what two teams are at the moment. Really, really good spectacle for the Premier League, that was.
Good spectacle for the Premier League. Was it a good advert for the officials once again? Should Liverpool have had a penalty for a handball from Martin Ødegaard? This is what Jurgen Klopp made of it.
I always wait until Mr. Dermot explains me the next day what's really the case. He will find a way to explain me that it was not handball. I don't know. That's for me a clear handball. I have no idea if that would have influenced the result or not. I don't even know exactly when it was because I only saw it after the game and not in the game.
Well, the good news is that Dermot will be here on Boxing Day morning, so Jurgen can tune in for that one as Liverpool prepare to face Burnley next. Does he have a point, though, Lee, in terms of that handball?
I just can't get my head around it. I literally can't get my head around it. The more I watch it and the more I try and see what White's not, I just cannot understand it. Is that a handball anywhere on the pitch? It's a handball. It's as simple as that. I know his arms is falling away, but does it matter if you're falling over anyway? You clearly have... And the big thing for me about that is, I think Salah gets on the other end of the ball that's going round past Ødegaard, and that's why I think it's blatantly a penalty. So I will be tuning in as well to see what that's got, because for me
Mr. Klopp is watching now,
Mr. Klopp,
and I'm Mr. Gallagher. So listen, Mr. Klopp.
That's a real upgrade.
It is an upgrade. It is a penalty. That's a penalty.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, because the letter of the law says his hand's out. It's not like it's by his side. It's out. I know it's deflected off him, but his hand's out. So I think Arsenal got away with one there. But for me, it's a penalty.
And again, Lee, it's the consistency question, isn't it? That we've seen penalties given this year where it is within a player's movement, even though the hand is a little bit up, it's in their stride or something like that. I remember seeing one very clear one, João Gomez for Wolves against Luton, where he's running, so his hand's like that and it hits him, whereas that is out there.
And that's what I'm saying. It's getting the consistency right, and that's what I think. I mean, listen, I'm not even a Liverpool fan, but it frustrates me to watch it, and I can only imagine what the fans think. You know, watching the game. Once you go to Villa had one on Friday, and you look at situations. But that for me, I just can't get my head around what they can't see or why it's not, and that's why I just feel that the VAR situation again is that we're constantly going over and over things during games. We're stopping things. We're waiting. It's taking a little bit of excitement out of the game, I feel. You know, players are not celebrating, players are scared to go over. I mean, it's annoying. That, for me, is just... It tops off another game where VAR, you know, have got it wrong, totally wrong.
So what about the other fullback, Kostas Tsimikas, without Andy Robertson? That is a big blow for Liverpool at left-back.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, it was quite a nasty collision, wasn't it? I mean, to look at it, you just felt it. I mean, I think everyone's sort of seen the funny side of it at the initial thing, but then to see how he actually fell and the collision, I mean, it's one of them horrible, horrible decisions. Listening to Klopp at the end saying that, you know, he was shook up himself. He was more concerned about, you know, the player. And, I mean, what a big miss it will be. You know, Gomez came in, didn't he, and sort of did a job in there. But again, you want all your players, you know, available, fit and available going into the business end of the season, don't you? So that'll be a big blow for Liverpool.
It's strange as well, Clinton, the types of injuries. You know, a shoulder for Andy Robertson, a collarbone for Kostas Tsimikas. Lee touched on the fact that it's Joe Gomez. That's pretty much, you would say, the only option Liverpool have. Not even like they can call on James Milner, who used to play at fullback a lot in a crisis.
Oh, you're right. But I think Gomez done well when he came on. I think Joe Gomez is a good defender. You can play him anywhere. And I think Andy Robertson is not too far away from maybe making his comeback. So that would be good news for Liverpool. But as I said, they'll have to cope without it. I think Gomez can play anywhere. He's a good player. He's played a few times for England as well. So I like Gomez. But Tsimikas is a huge blow because I thought he'd been outstanding coming in for Robertson.
Just sticking with defenders, Clinton, who do you think you'd find it tougher to play against, Virgil van Dijk or William Saliba?
Both. They're both outstanding, to be fair. They're both brilliant. Van Dijk and Saliba, if I had to pick a team of the season, that would be my centre-back pairing because I just think they both ooze class. Saliba's brilliant. He's been outstanding. He can match you for pace. He's good on the ball. Maybe Virgil is just a bit better than Saliba on the ball, but they're both outstanding defenders. I'd hate to play against both of them. Simple.
We'll talk, Lee, obviously, about what it means for Arsenal's title challenge, but we maybe saw towards the end of last season that was the big thing, wasn't it, as they sort of fell away a little and City surged past them, that being without William Saliba was the big thing. If they can keep him fit, they're in business.
1,000,000%. I mean, you only need to look at, like I said, the goals they've conceded this season, and you know, I think that's been the standout thing, is that they've been defensively a lot more sound. You know, there's been obviously a lot of talk around the goalkeeper change and whatnot, but you know, defensively, I think that they've just been, well, they've been absolutely phenomenal. I think the only flip side to it is that, and I think, and I'll keep saying it, is that I think if they can get someone, an out-and-out centre-forward, I think Arsenal put themselves in a category of literally going... And I looked at the both sides yesterday, and I feel a little bit like that with Liverpool as well. I think if they've got someone who's like that out-and-out centre-forward that can go and get them and add to the goals, I just think that's the area they're missing, because both sides look... As you said, Van Dijk's been back to his best, hasn't he, since that injury. Saliba's been solid. So, listen, if you can get the front end of the pitch working out, all of a sudden you put them in the category of literally pushing City to the wire.
Who would be the man then, Clinton, in terms of a striker, would you say?
See, there's loads of debates about this one, but obviously one that stands out is Ivan Toney. He's been linked to the football club, but do I think Brentford will let him go? No. I think they'll need him from January to the end of the season, and maybe he moves in the summer. So maybe Arsenal don't dip into the market, because you know what? The January transfer window is the hardest time to get a player in. No clubs are going to let it go. And if you want a top striker, the top teams are not letting their best striker go. So they have to stick with what they got. Listen, I like Jesus. I think Jesus is a brilliant striker, but is he going to get you the 20 to 25 goals? I think he does all of his good work outside of the box, but he could prove us all wrong and get the 20, 25 goals. But
I think how tight the league is this season. I know it was tight with City last, and Arsenal were in a great position, but I just think that, you know, they'll have been there, thought about it, and what can they do that's going to progress from this season? They pushed to get Raya in, didn't they? Which they did. I just think that might be just the missing piece of the jigsaw for Arsenal. I really do. You know, I look at Liverpool as well. You know, Gakpo's not really hit the heights that you'd expect him to. He hasn't filled the boots of Firmino, who added to the goals, you know, the Jotas. But that's where I just feel that might be the void that's just missing from them two, to go and really say, you know what?
You know who they should go and get? You two will be happy. Go and get Ollie Watkins.
Couldn't afford
I
him.
wouldn't be happy with that.
Couldn't afford him.
No, Solanke. Go and get Solanke.
Let's talk, Clinton, about Liverpool's forwards then. Cody Gakpo's not scored in the Premier League since September the 30th. Yeah. Luis Diaz has scored just once in the Premier League since August the 19th. And Darwin Núñez has scored just once in the Premier League since September the 24th. He's brilliant, but they can't keep relying on Mo Salah. And in January, they won't be able to rely on Mo Salah.
So those three have to step up. And obviously, Jota's injured at the moment, so hopefully he comes back. But these numbers, he's been putting up these numbers year upon year. He's fantastic. And I've said he's not even a natural number 9. He plays from the right-hand side. He's fantastic. And they are going to miss him. I don't know how many games he missed, 4 or 5 games, but they're going to need the others to step up. And listen, they're all good strikers. Núñez, he just needs a goal. He's getting in there, but he's not taking his chances. But he must be a nightmare for defenders because he plays on the shoulders. And Diaz, listen, he's had a lot of off-field problems. I think now you'll start seeing him get back to his best. And Gakpo, he's a clever player, isn't he? But these lot do need goals, and you're just hoping they can kick on because they're going to miss Salah when he goes to the African Cup of Nations.
I mean, I was watching the West Ham game yesterday, and I could see a Jared Bowen in that Liverpool side. I really could, because I think.
Sorry to interrupt you, Hendo. You know what Jurgen Klopp said? He's one of his favourite players in the Premier League as well.
I really do think if you know, when you look at a player in the Premier League at this moment in time and you think he's in great form, and he has been brilliant, let's face it, since he came from Hull where he was excellent, and he has hit the numbers at West Ham, and he can play in different roles. I watch him, and I know West Ham fans won't want me to say that, but I watch him and I just think he is ideal for a Liverpool setup. I just really do. I find he's very similar in the way of Jota. You know, he can come in, he can score goals, he can create goals. I just think he would be a perfect fit for Anfield and Jurgen Klopp, but I think it'd come at a big price.
We managed to annoy Brentford fans probably in the last few minutes.
Avoiding Villa, anyway.
Yeah, avoiding Villa, but Brentford fans and West Ham fans we've managed to annoy over the course of the last couple of minutes. Just to go back to Salah, Clinton, 121 goal involvements in 120 matches at Anfield. He's gone past Steven Gerrard's record last night. He's also only missed 10 games in 6 full Premier League seasons, remarkably durable, never gets injured. This January feels, although they've not got loads of league games, like a real test of Liverpool's title credentials. Can they do it without their star man?
They're going to have to do it without him. They're going to have to step up. Listen, Mo Salah is world-class. As simple as that. He'll go down as a Premier League great when one day he leaves them. But you look at these fixtures they've got. Listen, Burnley are on the back of a good result, but you're thinking Liverpool going there full of confidence. Newcastle away is a tough game. You know, I don't care what...
That's actually home. That graphic.
Oh, that's at home.
Needs a little tweak.
Okay, so they are at home, but it's still a tough game. You know what, Newcastle, even though they lost recently, and then they've got the FA Cup, the EFL Cup, and then Bournemouth away. So their games you look at, but Bournemouth are doing well.
Yes.
Bournemouth have been brilliant, but their games you're thinking, can Liverpool go and get the points? They can get the points, but as you said, other players and strikers around, apart from Salah, have to step up, but they can step up.
And it feels key to get Jota back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. I think, as you know, you start taking Salah out of the equation and you're taking a massive, massive void out of that side. He is one they go to. He's one they look to go and win games. He's the one they look to pull something, a rabbit out of a hat at times, because he's got that in his locker. He proved that yesterday again, you know, something out of nothing really moment for Mo Salah. And I just want to echo what Clinton's saying. This guy is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, because, as he said, he's not that out-and-out centre-forward, and that's what his numbers are just... They're incredible what he's actually produced, and he can create.
Is that the games that potentially he misses?
Depending on how far Egypt go, yeah.
Oh, wow. I bet Liverpool hope they get knocked out in the first round. That's a lot of games. I thought it was only 4.
That was affected the whole of Egypt as well. Brilliant, good.
But good. Liverpool fans will be happy.
Yeah, Liverpool fans would be thrilled to have him back. Do you go along with what Lee said there, that if Liverpool were to go big in one area, and we know they don't tend to make huge numbers of signings in January, that they brought in Luis Diaz at a crucial stage 2 Januaries ago, would you be looking in the forward areas again?
No, you know what? I wouldn't be looking in the forward areas. You know where I'd be looking, Robert? In the number 6 area. That's where, even though Endo's come in there and done well, that's what, you know, me personally, if Liverpool had a Declan Rice, I'd make them strong. They'd be challenging massively. They are challenging, but I think they could go and win it, because I think Declan Rice, what he's done at Arsenal, has been outstanding. I believe those strikers will score goals. It's just they're going through a phase at the moment. It happens to strikers where you're not going to score goals. As soon as one goes in, they'll go on a good run. And at the moment, they still got Salah to do it.
I think Nunez is one. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he will eventually come to the forefront of things. But I think at this moment in time, it's like, well, he needs to start doing it now. And you take Salah out of the equation, and then you're saying you've got to step up and be the man to do that. I don't see it from Gakpo. I'm sorry, but I've watched him beforehand, before he came to Liverpool, and I wasn't overly convinced that he was going to be the man for it. And I watch him, and he doesn't seem a Liverpool player, if you understand.
What he's not a natural goal scorer. What he likes to do is drop into little pockets. He likes to be like Bobby Firmino, but he's not that... I don't think he's as good as Bobby Firmino, but that enables Salah. I think they'll start playing Nunez sometimes off the left-hand side.
With Jota down the middle, or...?
Yeah, with Jota down the middle and Mohamed Salah, and then interchange, you can bring Diaz on. But they've got a lot of options. They will score goals. I don't worry about Liverpool.
You do wonder whether those two drawing yesterday, Liverpool drew the previous week at home against Manchester United as well, that as they made their way back from Saudi Arabia, Manchester City just allowed themselves a quiet smile because
Oh, Pep was laughing.
Liverpool have not been able to put a bit of scoreboard pressure on. And you can always say, oh, well, City have got the games in hand, but you've got to go and win those games. But they've not galloped away from Liverpool over the last week or so.
No, they haven't. But we get to the January, February, and we know what Man City can do. We've seen it season upon season where they can go 10 games unbeaten. But there's still a lot to play for. I've always said it. I always still think Man City are the team to beat. But it's so tight. And you know what? It's going to be a proper title race. This is not going to be 10 points. This is going to be like 1 or 2 points. And this is why this is the best league in the world.
The difference in comparison to last season was Erling Haaland. You know, he'd scored that many goals himself, hadn't he? You know, for Man City. And I just think, again, the top teams this weekend have missed a real big trick, I think, because you start putting more pressure on Manchester City, and they are under pressure. There's no doubt that, you know, that they haven't been anywhere near what they should be. But we're coming back now. We've got a game in hand. We win that, and we're 3 points
Bruyne
off.
on the way
And you're
back.
just thinking to yourself, how on earth are we talking?
Who wins it?
Man City win. Man City.
Oh, you're presenting now, are you?
No,
Quickly,
because I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
ask you. That's what.
Okay.
Man City
wanna
win the
ask you.
league. Man City.
I think it's going to be a great title race, and we're going to see loads of good football.
Yeah, I like that.
It'll be Man City and Villa.
Let me ask you.
I knew you was waiting for the
Let me
bit.
ask you instead. How many teams do you think can win it?
5 can win it.
2, 3.
Lee?
5 that are there.
I'm going to go 4, and that's Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa, and Man City.
Okay.
I'm
Hold
leaving
on.
Tottenham. I'm leaving Tottenham out of it.
Yeah.
Have you just gone from 5 to 4?
No, I'm leaving
go
Tottenham. No,
5.
I'm leaving Tottenham in it. I'm leaving
Oh, yeah?
Tottenham. Yeah, I've got to leave Tottenham. They still got a chance. If you look at the points table,
No,
you can't
Madison.
rule out.
Son's flying away. He's gone.
Yeah, but Madison comes back in January and Van der Veen.
Yeah, but take Son out of the equation.
Yeah,
It's
we have
game-
to. Yeah, we have to
They've
sign.
got no Harry Kane. They've got no. Nah.
Can I
they're
just
out
say,
of
by
it.
the way, I really like the way that you prepared yourself for the Christmas Day charades by saying flying